Hi, I'm Callie Lowther. I'm Marin Humane's Behavior Foster Liaison, and today I'll be talking about the joys and benefits of fostering with a couple of our volunteers. All right. So what convinced you guys to foster, specifically behaviorally challenged dogs?
Well, when I first started fostering, I worked here as an animal care tech, and I saw how many pets really needed a home and somebody to work with them. And that's what got me started. Never ends.
But a lot of dogs come in and they're terrified, they're frightened, they may have lost their person. For a variety of reasons, they're displaying sort of unproductive behaviors, and they don't look attractive as adoption candidates. And so what we do is we take them into a home, which is better than a shelter environment. Even though this is like the nicest shelter, it's not home. And so we take them into the home and we love them up just like we were their people, and we give them an environment in which they can blossom, and you get to see who they really are, and they get to see that the world isn't quite as frightening as it seems at the shelter.
That's great.
And it's rewarding.
Yeah, it's really rewarding.
It's nice for the behavior fosters because if we can give them the rehab of being in a home and out of the stress of the shelter, it gives them more of a chance and we can take on more.
And you can see who they really are, because sometimes it's just the way they act in the shelter, and they don't necessarily act that way in your home.
Well, I think one of the things that comes up for people, again, I just alluded to it, is that they're afraid that they're going to adopt the dog. And they're afraid that they'll become too attached. How do you address that?
Well, I have to say, many years ago when I first started fostering, I would bring them back crying. But I didn't want to keep them.
Wait, they were crying or you were
I
crying?
would be crying because I was bringing, I'd fallen in love. But now I'm relieved. I know that I've done my job. It's time for them to get a new home, and I'm realistic that I can't adopt everything I foster. I don't even want to have that many animals. So I'm happy to bring them back and feel like I did a good job helping them out.
Yeah. No, people ask me all the time, how can you not, even just as a volunteer, not necessarily as a foster, but how can you not take them all home? And my response is, I like almost everyone I know. Most of the people I meet and I know I think are great. I don't want to live with every single one of them. and I learned that the dogs are like that, where they're great, but maybe they have some little quirk that somebody else loves that's not my quirk. And so it's easier when you think about it in those terms. Like, am I going to live with this dog full time? And I've had those fosters where I'm like, I love you, you're great, but I don't want to live with you full time. Whereas some other person goes, I love that trait. I'm totally addicted to that trait and I want more of it. And so there's a lid for every pot.
I think it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, and I've lived a long time, and there's nothing in my life that has made me feel better about myself, better about what I can offer these animals. That's just, for me, that's the way it is. It's just a wonderful thing.
I think another fear that people have that I've heard is they think it's going to cost them money. And I think that might be true when you're helping out a rescue organization that's a very small operation that doesn't have a lot of resources. But with an institution like Marin Humane, all the resources are here. The foster care department will send you home with beds and bowls and food and medicine and all the things. And if your foster pet gets sick, you bring the foster pet back to the shelter and they take care of the sickness. And that's really, I think, if you want to have an animal in your life that you're loving on and enjoying
for 2 weeks,
or a week, and you don't, but you find the cost difficult to bear. This is the perfect way to deal with that. And ditto travel. We travel a lot, sometimes together. and so when we know what that is on our calendar, we just call up Suzanne or Marissa and we say, hey, I'm going to be out of town these dates, and so I won't be. I'll bring Fluffy back, or I won't get a Fluffy during that time.
Right, and you can always say no.
Yeah.
just can't do it.
You can say no.
It's a nice short-term commitment, and that dog could always be there when you get back.
And my favorite thing about fostering is that I will sometimes stay in touch with the adopters, and they'll send me photos, or sometimes I run into people on a hiking trail in Marin, and I don't know them, but I recognize the dog. And I'll say, hey, is that Bowser? And they'll say, well, no, he's Bruno now. And
Bruno come running up to you like, hi!
And you get to see them like having a life, and it's just the most, and you think I helped make that happen. There's not, as Susie said, it is the most rewarding thing. There's nothing really like it.
Yes, and then being in foster gets them to a state where they're emotionally able to be their best self when they meet their adopter too, which is great.
Or even that the foster person or the staff can explain to this person that it needs a minute, you know, it might need a couple days, but look what can happen with this animal if you just take the time.
I have a poodle that was adopted from here by my best friend. She passed away, and now he's my poodle. I was looking back through his paperwork, and I found his original evaluation from here. And it was so hilarious because it was the exact opposite of who he turned out to be in a home. And it's the perfect example of what we see here. Hi! What we see here might not actually be what you're going to get in the home, and in a good way, like, you know, in the best way.
Right.
So you don't really know who they are until they go home.
So what about your own pets in the home? How does that work?
Well, in my case, I have two dogs, and they are really good at this point, knowing that whatever comes into the house, whether it's a foster or a friend's overnight dog or whatever, they're not permanent. And so they don't get too worried about that. And it's almost like they say to that other dog, like, do not get comfortable, because you are not staying. But it really helps the foster dog, because the resident dog or cat will basically be very instructive to the foster dog. And we can teach them so much, but watching, they actually do cue off of each other. And when they see, oh, this is when we go and do this thing, or this is, oh, now we're sitting and getting our coats on, or, you know, whatever, they pick stuff up much faster, and they acclimate much quicker when you have another pet. So if your pets in your household are cool with other dogs, it's great. It's basically a shortcut for fostering.
And sometimes you think your pets aren't going to be okay, but you could be surprised. And there are people here at the shelter that will help you figure out how to introduce them if you haven't done it before. My pets are just fine. My cats don't even run. So it's good for the foster animal. But if you do have pets at home and you're concerned about that, there are people at the shelter that'll help you with that.
Yeah. Lots of ways to do home management and stress relieving in the home when we're doing introductions, and of course lots of people, including myself, that can help with the pet introductions and doing it nice and slow and in a nice, easy way.
So in addition to beds and bowls and medical care, you get emotional support and training.
Yes.
You don't just, that's another thing my friends say, I want to foster, but I feel like I don't know how.
Yeah, if you need help with setting up your home in a certain way, I can come to your house and help it get set up. I can help with doing introductions with your dogs. If we're having a certain challenge with a dog, I can help with that dog. Whether it's in your house, maybe we need to go on a walk and help you with managing on the walk and showing you techniques with that dog. Or we just need some basic management with helping with kennel training in the home or anything specific to that dog. But it's just nice to have that emotional or just dog support in the house from a person too.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm always someone that you can just call or email if it's just, hey, this is happening, help. And it's someone that can always reach out to.
But I would be happy to be a foster mentor.
Great.
That would be a great way for me to volunteer.
Yeah, we're always looking for more people to help with that, to do the
Absolutely.
foster care role, support with the volunteer role. To recap, when you choose to foster, everything you may need is provided, whether that's financial support or the materials you may need, like bed, toys, or food, or if your schedule has conflicts, like you go on a trip or you have long work days, you're welcome to bring them back and we will happily take them. And if you need the mentorship or emotional support from us, we are happy to provide, whether it's staff or volunteers. And at the end of the day, you provide big help and support to our animals and provide huge hope and chance to their successful futures in finding their forever homes.